Hey everybody, I'm Matt Weafer, Executive Chef at the Campbell Club here in downtown Owensboro, and thanks for joining me in the kitchen on Hometown TV. Today we are making one of our wraps. It's a delicious whole grain wrap. We're doing a steak and blue cheese. I've got a nice gorgonzola cheese here. It's got a great flavor to it, nice and creamy and salty. We're going to use our smoked paprika aioli, some caramelized onions, and we've got a flank steak from Wadlington & Sons. It's on the grill right now. We marinate our flank steaks for 24 hours, lemon juice and Worcestershire and garlic and rosemary. We rub it with salt and a bunch of toasted spices too. Soaks up that flavor, and the acid in the lemon juice really breaks it down and makes it nice and tender too. I'll let that rest and I'll slice it up before we put it on the wrap. I'm gonna go ahead and break down our onion for our caramelized onions. Just pop off the ends. I'm gonna keep this nice and thin so that it'll cook quickly and evenly and get a good color on it. I'm gonna put a big handful on here. I'm gonna go on the flat top. Put a little bit of unsalted butter too. Go a little bit more. A little salt on here. The salt's going to help pull the moisture out. A little bit of pepper. It's going to break the onions down a little bit faster. It's going to help them to caramelize pretty quickly. Just toss these around. You can do these in a cast iron skillet or just any saute pan too if you're cooking something like this at home. Caramelized onions have such a rich, deep flavor that enhances just about any dish, especially steak. It goes perfectly with a steak, and they're nice and sweet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and went ahead and started our steak. I'm gonna let this rest, and while it's resting, all the juices are gonna come together, and they won't run all over the plate whenever I cut it, because it's very important to slice flank steak when you cook it, because it's really tough otherwise. You slice it crossways against the grain, and that'll help keep it nice and tender and just melts in your mouth. Otherwise, you'll be chewing on it for a long time, and nobody likes that. Keep tossing our onions around here. You can see already picking up some really good color. Part of that's the butter browning with the onions. It gives it that nice toasted, nutty flavor, and the other part of it's just the sugars inside the onions breaking down. This is where a lot of your flavor is coming from in this sandwich. Okay, while that goes for just a little bit longer, I'm gonna go ahead and dress our wrap using this smoked paprika aioli. We use it's a local paprika made in Lexington, Kentucky, and they use bourbon barrels to smoke the paprika. It's got a great, rich flavor to it too. Nice, the smoke really comes out strongly. Romaine lettuce, best tomatoes we can find right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of salt. Tomatoes really like salt. Just helps bring that flavor out even further. And this is our blue cheese. I'm gonna go right on top. Blue cheese is gonna melt inside of this. It's gonna soak into the steak. It's gonna get creamy. Blue cheese kind of sweetens up too when it melts, and it's just going to be bursts of flavor inside of this wrap. Okay, so our onions. Go ahead and pull these off. That's about how far I want them. It's not totally golden all the way through, but you see the char on the outside, and that's just intense flavor. I'm going to put all this on there because I like a lot of onions. Okay, go ahead. Slice our flank steak here. Nice sharp knife. And you can see the grains, see the threads in the flank steak. You want to make sure you're cutting across this. When you're cutting across that, you're going to cut the tendons and the everything else that's inside it. That makes it really tough. And you want to cut it as thin as you can. I'm not going to use all this steak because it's a whole lot of steak. Just going to cut most of it, put it on there. The marinade will affect the color internally of the steak. The longer you leave it in there, the longer it'll brown the inside, and that brown isn't a bad thing. It's just the oxidizing the meat inside. Makes it look like it's not cooked all the way through, even if it is. Or overcooked is what I mean. All right, big fat wrap. Roll this up, nice and tight. A little bit of oil down on the flat top. Throw this down. It's going to heat up the cheese inside. It's going to toast the wrap on the outside. It's going to develop the flavor. Toasted bread, whether it be a wrap or a bun or whatever, always enhances the flavor of a sandwich. Throw it on there just to get a little bit of color. And it'll also give it a great texture too, make it nice and crispy on the outside. This flat top's pretty hot, so it goes pretty fast. You can see already it's got some good golden on the outside. sandwich like this, it's $10 at lunchtime, and it comes with fries. And you can do sweet potato fries or regular fries. It's quick and easy, get you in and out, filling, delicious. There you go. All right, that's our steak and blue cheese wrap. I'm Matt Weafer, Executive Chef at the Campbell Club. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen. Come down and join us for our 2-month free membership anytime. That's open to the public. This is In the Kitchen on Hometown TV. Thanks.